someone made a comment about me in our One Topic Facebook group, or like One Topic Facebook page.
Oh yeah, I forget that
And-
exists. How many people are on that? 6?
Yeah, handful. More than a handful is a waste. That's what somebody said. And he said something about like me whining. Like, can we skip a week where Autumn's whining about her feelings? He said sometimes that's entertaining, but can we get back to, like, trains and socks? And at my first year, I was like, fuck that. Maybe he's not right for the show. And then
Oh, you're
It's
pulling
like
you're
one-
pulling an EVH there.
no,
And Eric Von Hessler's like, you don't like the show? There's thousands of podcasts out there. Go find one that fits you.
well, my first was defensive, and then the next thing, it's like this little he planted a evil seed in my brain.
Yeah, because you didn't want to talk about something like that tonight. I don't even know what the topic is tonight, honestly. You never confirmed. I have no clue.
I didn't?
I have no clue what we're doing. But
I wanted to talk about being shitty.
all right, you can kick it off by being shitty towards this guy. Though it is funny that he goes after you. Though I think the last episode I derailed because
Yeah, he commented
Because I
on,
wanted to talk
on
about-
that episode.
wanted to talk about my feelings.
Yeah, he commented under that episode, so it's all confusing. I don't think he knows what he's talking about.
Unless he thinks that you are me and I am you.
Oh, maybe he just never put it together that I'm Autumn and you're Greg. This thing, are you talking? Your mic is off. Click the. Yeah, I know. I fucking muted it. Stop telling me over and over. Is there a way to turn that off?
No.
Stop
I don't know.
treating me like a child. Google Meet.
Well, you're the one who wanted to use Google Meet. You loved it so much more than Google Hang.
I know, it's its only flaw.
Well, for the most part, people aren't using two different, online web-based recording video platforms. So if you're in Google Meet using it the proper way, quite often people forget to unmute themselves, and that's why it warns you.
I know, it's annoying.
Just
Stop
like those
talking to me.
Just like those funny Progresso commercials.
Yeah.
I know it's progressive, but I need to point out
The
that I
guy's
got
like
it wrong.
vacuuming in the background, and they're like, could you stop? sorry.
They're really in touch
It's
with the
supposed
times.
to say discounts, not snouts. And that stupid one. He's like, you sure about that?
Progresso, you've really got it down. You've got your finger on the pulse of today's modern society.
I think my arms are getting stronger. I've been spinning faster lately.
I can't believe you actually can quote this commercial. I don't know what that says about
Yeah,
you.
they are a little bit.
That's actually why can you quote this commercial? That's sad, Autumn.
You fell asleep with your son. You fell asleep with your son again. No, I didn't.
What is wrong with you? Seriously, this is sad. This is pathetic. I'm throwing that word out there. Pathetic. And you know what I watched tonight? You've got me beat because you're quoting commercials. I put on that Adam Sandler Halloween movie that's on Netflix.
What's that?
It's just there. I don't know what it is. I can't tell you what it is. I turned it on. I put it on. I was also playing Mario Kart on the Nintendo Switch, so it was background. But I allowed it. It got a view. I allowed it to run throughout in its entirety. So now Netflix is going to keep paying Adam Sandler shitloads of money to make these awful films. The films that are no different, except just worse than the first films he ever made. And, sometimes people come to his defense and they say, he's got range. Yeah, he does have range when it's a movie he didn't write and he was cast just to act in. When
He wrote that Daddy one, right?
with Big Daddy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one was decent.
It's always the same. Kind of goofy loser dude. There's a good-looking
100%. And
woman.
it's mostly about the
whose
location
initials,
and his friends.
the women's initials are always VV. outside of The Wedding Singer. But look it
Yeah,
up.
Julia.
Most of the films, his love
What's
interests.
that mean?
I don't know what it means.
Vagina.
And he also does the thing where everyone's name ends in a Y or an IE quite often.
Interesting.
Billy. Happy.
What's the one where he has the twin called? What's that called?
I don't know.
Oh man, that movie.
He has a twin.
Yeah, where it's a female version of himself.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Wow. But the point is you're quoting commercials. So I think you're at least
You can quote commercials.
No, at least there's an attempt at some kind of straight up original content with these Adam Sandler films. These are commercials, advertisements.
Crossfire, you get caught up in the crossfire.
Yeah, it was a good jingle. It gets stuck in your head, but
a jingle's different than just a spoken word commercial.
Yeah, you're like English Nick at this point of commercials.
I'm trying to think of other commercials that I might know.
English.
Oh, what's that one that you love where she's like, or you have this phone and this is like different because the phone. Like, what's her problem? She's like, I have friends and I have a new phone.
I don't know what you're talking. Oh, the one with the
one that
googly
you
eyes.
hate.
Yeah, that was
that girl.
That was from March, and that was also on. I forget what platform I was using, but it was the
Pluto.
It was the only commercial they'd show.
Yeah, either Pluto or Hulu. Those are the worst offenders.
But anyway, I was saying you're the English Nick. Sometimes will just quote passages from TV shows and movies, and even if they're funny, if you're watching it. He's just basically reading you the lines or repeating the lines, saying, "Okay, Nick," and it goes on very long. But you're that of the commercial world.
Well, I feel proud that I'm in this category on my own. If you're somebody who can quote commercials, comment below. That's what people do on YouTube all the time.
Smash.
They're in the middle of something and they're like, "If you think that there's diamonds in these chests, comment down below."
Yeah, anything just to get common, sad, shameless promotion. Do they still say Smash? I know we've made fun of Smash before, but has that been played out finally?
I don't know. I do need to re-up my lingo a little bit because I always say like, "Hey guys," but really the new thing is like, "Welcome back to my channel."
And you need to put your face in the corner.
Yeah.
A video of you on green screen, so you can just take the green out, create a transparent alpha channel, and then just put yourself over the video that you're commenting
You know
on.
what I would like to do? Oh, this just came to me. I could put myself in the corner and the screen behind me is what I'm watching, but I'm watching something and I'm just watching Sex and the City. Every single episode of Sex and the City, I'm watching it and I'm talking about it and yelling about it. I think that would be something.
I think that you should, and then you should start putting yourself in the corner of videos of you watching Sex and the City. So then it's a video of you. That's where we're getting. You know, these people don't even care about the content. They don't give a shit. They just, here I am. Here. If you really just wanted to provide commentary for a video, then provide the commentary and try to be entertaining. It's like, no, I have to be seen. People need to see me. I need to be recognizable. I need to be on the street and have people come up to me and say, "Hey, it's you. You're that guy. You're that guy from YouTube."
Mm-hmm.
Pathetic.
Well, that's not always.
What a sad.
I know what you're saying.
No, that is always.
People will start watching if they see who you are. Like they want to see your face.
It's the sad state of the world.
Nah, you just want to be negative about it.
I'm not being negative about it. Because the content at that point, if you're providing commentary or you're playing a video game and you're talking with your friend, whatever it is, that's what people are tuning in to see, not your fucking face in the corner of the frame and and doing quick snap zooms into your eyes when you get really excited about something. Come on.
Yeah, it's hard to know when that switches over to people actually enjoying that because like maybe they don't start out that way and then once they do start putting themselves in the corner, then maybe they get more views.
Everyone wants to be famous. Why does that sad
I know,
need?
and everybody has a podcast too.
What is that sad need?
Ugh.
Yeah, I know. We've talked about the podcast before. I still teeter. Don't
Losers.
think that because we've almost done it for 2 years, I'm cemented in. I'll quit any moment. If you make me start thinking
I'll just
about
replace you with someone else. See, now that's the EVH way of talking to some. That's fine. I'll replace you with somebody else. You don't think I have other doctrinaires that want to be here?
well, that's a different show. You probably could replace people.
Couldn't replace me.
He could replace you. He could replace Tim. Sorry, but it's the
listen,
truth.
anyone can be replaced, but can you produce the way that I can?
Yeah, you can bring Belinda back.
No.
Belinda would be great.
Who are they going to get?
Belinda, bring her back.
You're right.
She's one of the
compete with
funniest people I know.
I know.
Sense of humor like none other, out of this universe, they say.
You know, I didn't even think about her, and I think it's because I kind of suppress how good she really is because it's too intimidating. And I just know that she's, ready to fill in at any moment.
I'm the best. There's an impression.
The best.
I did an impression. You like that?
The first symptom is sudden death.
Yeah. I don't know if that's a,
It's not a symptom.
Yeah, it's a result.
It's not a symptom. Death is not a symptom. God damn it.
I don't know if people understand what you're referencing there, but there's a commercial for
It's
some
a commercial. I'm more commercial lines from me.
Yeah. See? And
Yeah.
You've
You
reinforced.
can sell your home super quick.
But the commercial for whatever it is, I forget if it's for a doctor's office or something like that, right?
Yeah.
And the first symptom of a heart attack is sudden death. Okay.
Yeah. Most times the first symptom is sudden death. Where you're dead. And then you're dead forever.
Bow, 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 bow.
Welcome to One Topic, where we stick to one topic. My name is Autumn Fisher.
My name is Greg Russ. And I think it's your week, Autumn, though it was your week last week. But then I hijacked your week last week. And then the week before, I think, was also your week. But we did the Free for Fall, so it's still your week, much to the dismay of many people who enjoy my topics.
Yeah, many people online have rallied against me talking about complaining about my feelings.
Well, we mentioned this in the pre-show, so we're just hitting up on it now officially within the confines of the show.
Autumn won't stop complaining about her feelings.
Well, that's what's really funny about last week is it was my feelings that hijacked the show. You wanted to talk about dicks.
Yeah, I was ready to talk about dicks.
And I threw that thing out the window. Yet you are taking the blame for it. Autumn just wants
why?
to talk about her feelings.
I don't want to jump to that thing where it's like, oh, a man always thinks a woman's bitching about something.
Well, you know why people like hearing about my feelings? Because I approach them logically. I speak about them logically, I should say. I don't approach them as logically as I used to, because when you approach feelings logically, you just dismiss them because they aren't logical. So when you look at something logically that isn't logical, you say, get the fuck out of here. But I don't do that anymore. But when I discuss them, I think it's still relatively logical. So the men listening say, yeah, that Greg.
Yeah.
That Autumn.
Oh, she's just so whiny about how something made her feel.
Yeah, you're weak. You let your emotions.
I am the Pharisee.
You are weak. Well, I mean, this week's topic is what are you calling it?
I think I'm calling it being shitty.
Okay.
Because I there's a specific thing that comes to mind, but then there are a lot of other things that come to mind, but this is like the most recent thing. Can I just tell you what it is?
Okay.
So there's this woman in the neighborhood who has these two dogs, and she's always walking them around. And I found out from another neighbor that she used to be pretty heavy, and that she's lost a lot of weight because she's been like walking these dogs. She goes around like the loop here that's like 3 miles or something. And it was supposed to be like, isn't that great? Like, look at good for her. And you're like, cool, okay. And I knew that there was a kid that went to the school with Ellie that I would see with her. And so one time, she and I were talking, just like, gabbing like ladies in the suburbs do. And I said something about it being her grandson. And she was like, that's my son. It's not my grandson. I was like, oh. I had to pretend that I was like, oh, did I say grandson? I don't know why I said that. And then I scalded myself in the shower. So, and then after that, I've always felt like a distance from her. And I don't know if that's real or not, but she's not like a super duper friendly person. She's just like a normal amount of friendly. And so I just really feel like I really fucked that up. And now she knows that I think that she looks old. There's more.
There was just a lot there already. There's more. I don't even know where to start with this because I don't understand what the shitty part of that was. Like with the first thing you said, the shit is
setup.
Okay. I'm going to tell you because there's a lot of shit in there. There's already a lot of shitty behavior. It started with you gossiping with your neighbors. But, okay.
I wasn't gossiping. She just let me know. The neighbor let me know.
Oh, wait, that's gossip. What is the reason to pass even information like that? You know what? Hey,
because
elbow
you can
elbow
be proud
in the
of someone
soft,
who worked hard on something.
Little elbow in the ribs. She used to be fat.
No, it wasn't like that. It was more like, yeah, she's done really great. Like she's lost all this weight. She's gotten healthier.
Okay,
she's
well that's
exercising.
that's the modern way of still saying she used to be fat.
Well, it wasn't
because she's not there, and no one just throws. Let's applaud her. She's not here.
She didn't say she used to be fat.
She's not here, but let's applaud her. She used to be fat. It's really great that she lost that weight. Anyway, so then at some point you thought that she was old, probably because she lost that weight and she had that old man look. Like The Biggest Loser, remember?
She wasn't. Listen, no.
And remember when the people on The Biggest Loser would lose all that weight and they look 16 years older? So
yeah,
then that's
Al Roker.
So then you assume that she's an old laid.
Ole.
Yeah, an old laid. And at that point, you call her son her grandson. Mm-hmm. And that's shitty on your part, assuming that just because a lady's old, she couldn't have a young, vibrant child.
Of course. All right. You're adding more to this than it needs to. First of all, she was not that big. She wasn't like what you're talking about, where someone is obese on The Biggest Loser or My 5,000-Pound Life or whatever it is, and they lose all that weight and they look crazy. She didn't look like that. She didn't look like she used to be big and now she's like loose skin. It wasn't like that. She didn't look like skin hanging off bones, like some of those people look like.
Okay. I think
she just looked like a normal lady who I thought was older, and I thought that was her like grandson. And then I didn't see her with the kids ever. I just saw like that kid that I know lives in that house where she also lives.
Okay, so at this point, you haven't acted shitty yet. So let's get to the shitty behavior part.
Okay.
You're still in the clear. A saint.
Then
an angel.
She got an angel. She got some surgery where she got some of the skin removed, I guess. And she got some liposuction, and maybe she put, I don't know, I'm just assuming maybe some breast implants just to firm things back up. I'm just guessing about that part. But the rest of the stuff I know, liposuction and some skin removal. And I saw her when she was recovering, and I would see her, and then she stopped. I did not see her walking the dogs anymore. And I thought, I wonder where she's okay. Where'd she go? She has reemerged, and she's bigger. And I feel this is the part where I'm shitty, and I'm like, awesome. When I see her and I see her walking her dogs now and she's plumped up, I'm like, yes.
Makes you feel better about yourself.
I don't think it's that. I think it's that, better about myself. Probably ultimately, yes. But it's not.
Because you think that you're putting on the weight.
No, 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 no. No, no, no,
You
no,
think
no.
that you're putting? You say this all the time.
No, this is why
Oh, look at
I brought
me.
up the
I'm
beginning. This is why I set it up because I
swelling.
had this weird interaction with her. And then after that, I didn't mention like on Halloween and stuff. She's in with like the ladies over there in the little cul-de-sac and they're all like, bah! And I was never a part of that. And no one ever wanted to talk to me. And I was always like this like weird wheel on the outside of the parent sort of semicircle.
But you're
like
a,
no one
you're
talked.
a part of it now. You're in.
I'm not a part of it.
You're having discussions about this woman's weight.
No, this was a long time ago. This was like in passing. This one neighbor told me something who was my actual literal next door neighbor who has since moved and does not keep in contact with me, even though I've like texted.
Then why are you happy that she's put on weight?
Because I'm shitty. Because I think because of this weird interaction and then the sort of like she's a part of this mom group that never made me feel very welcome. And then I said something to her that embarrassed me. And so now I'm like kind of glad that she's like gaining some weight. I don't feel proud of that. I'm just saying this is maybe other people understand what I'm talking about. I think that a lot of humans, a lot of people are shitty. And I don't think that means that I am capital S shitty, but I think that I think shitty things, and maybe we shouldn't be afraid to put those on the table.
Well, I have always said that true genius lies in realizing what a piece of shit you are. So if you have an inability to
call me a genius,
if you have an inability to admit that you're a piece of shit, then you're not smart because you're just lying to yourself. Because yeah, it sounds like all right. Your story had many twists and turns. It was like a roller coaster, ups and downs. I thought it was going to be the shittiness of suburban gossip and then the shittiness of offsetting one's bad feelings, but it was neither of those things. You know, the latter being you putting on weight, which you're not, but you've said before, and then she puts on weight, and maybe it makes you feel better, but it wasn't even that. It was just straight up spite because she didn't allow you in her little mom group.
Which I don't even want to be a part of.
You wanted to be a part of it somewhere.
I wanted to be a part of anything.
You wanted to be in the spot to reject that mom group.
Yeah, totally.
If you didn't want to be in it. And so
I resented them for making me feel desperate.
So well, now you're wishing ill on her. And that's fine. I'm certainly not going to judge that because that's what most of my life is wishing ill on.
I don't wish it on. No, I don't wish it on her.
All right. Well, you're taking joy in it.
Huh?
You're taking joy in it. Okay. Well, you're not so shitty. Wow. Good. You've stopped yourself from wishing it actively. It's just.
I'm not saying one's better than the other.
It's reactive
I'm just saying
at this point.
The avenue of shit for me, it may be different than yours. Yours is a wishing shit. Mine is a enjoyment of shit.
Oh, yeah. No, mine's constant. When I was taken off the air at 99X in Atlanta by the lame-ass suit. I call him a suit. He wasn't a suit because he dressed like a stereotypical radio dude, probably with cargo shorts and Hawaiian shirt. And he had
bowling shirt.
And he had frosted tips when he was 50-something years old. But, you know, for all intents and purposes, he was a fucking suit who just took orders from above. He's like, I'm taking you off the air because my job's most important because I got to post pictures with celebrities. I got to keep my job so I can get pictures with the celebrities who come to the station and I can post them online so people think I'm cool. Fuck you. And when he told me that he was taking me off the air for being too creative, I actively wished for him to be hit by a car in front of his son, and his son would go up and say, Dad, and he wouldn't be dead right away. He'd be bleeding internally, and maybe his body would be twisted, and it would be a slow death. And his son would be making eye contact with him as life faded out of his eyes and drifted into the ether. So, you know, if you want to talk about wishing ill upon people's shitty behavior, there was another time there was a man when I was dating Christina who was Puerto Rican, and this Hispanic man apparently didn't like it that she was dating me. said something in Spanish. I didn't know what he said, but then she told me, and we were at the stoop of my apartment, and she told me as we were walking up the stairs, and I said, what did he say? And then I went and looked for him. I went to find him. I don't know what I was going to do at that point. When I was going to say.
What did he say?
I don't even remember what he said, but he said something nasty about us dating because I'm white and she's Hispanic, and I couldn't find him, and that's probably for the best. But then I had this whole fantasy in my head how if I had found him, I would have stabbed him in the neck with a pen, and he would have spurted blood everywhere, and then I would have let the blood wash over me, and I would have just stood there calmly as the blood spurted onto my face, and then I wouldn't shower, and I would let it crust on my face, and I would go to the funeral of him where his family was there mourning and crying, and I would look at them, and I would just point and laugh, and then I would point at the blood on my face and say, this is your son's blood. You raised a piece of shit, and he got what he deserved. So, yeah, there you go. You want to talk about shitty behavior? You want to talk about...
I wasn't trying to win at shitty behavior.
No, I know. I'm really helping you set up this topic. And there was another time, a guy said something... What did he want? He asked me, maybe he was asking me for money. I don't remember. Whatever it was. His reaction to whatever I told him was he went over the top, and I fantasized about taking the lid off of my coffee, my scalding hot coffee, and throwing it in his face and watching him reel in pain as his skin burned and blistered from my hot coffee. So,
damn.
Yeah.
These are really violent.
Yeah, but... Yes.
So what's happening is that I'm reacting like, oh my God, that's
surprise.
I just said that, like, just because I think shitty doesn't mean I am shitty, but now I'm feeling like, oh no, Greg, that's too much.
I think the point is maybe my thoughts are more violent and shittier than other people's thoughts, but I guarantee a lot of people also do think along these same lines. And what makes it shitty at that point? I'm not acting on these things. Like, I went and looked for the guy that I wouldn't have said anything if I found him. I don't know what I would have done. Whatever mood I was in. It wasn't like I was trying to show off for Christine. I'm like, oh, I'm a big man. It's like I really was pissed for whatever reason. But would I have stabbed him in the neck? No. That wouldn't have happened. And if I had, would I have just stood there calmly and bathed in his blood? That probably wouldn't have happened either. I would have panicked and freaked out and vomited. So these aren't real things. So are they shitty thoughts? Maybe, I guess. People will admit that these are... I don't know if people will admit that they have these kind of thoughts. And I don't know the extent or the extremes that people have these thoughts. But I've brought them up in therapy before. My therapists have never actually been worried about it. I say therapist because that first one, where the dude, the radio guy, got hit by a car, I was in Atlanta at that point, and I had a different therapist. So, I bring these things up. I think they're common. I think that fantasizing about the demise of other people in violent ways who have wronged you. I've told you before, sorry, I'm going on this rant now. You got me started. Like the people who go on the train and blast their music and force you to listen to it, and then someone asks them to turn it off, they have an attitude. I fantasize about taking a baseball bat and smashing in their knees. And saying,
and like cutting their Achilles tendons and stuff.
Yeah, it's like, this is a warning. That's your warning. If you do this again... I don't know what happens. There's a limit. I don't know what happens after I bash in their kneecap. Mm-hmm. But I love the idea of putting people in their place and giving them what they deserve.
See, I don't want to take action against people that I'm bothered by.
No? Oh, you're zen?
No, but if something bad happens...
I'm zen.
I'm glad. Meditate. I'm not glad. I enjoy it.
Meditate. Breathe deep. When someone angers you, don't let them get to you. I will tell you.
That's me. That's what I do.
I'm not the shitty one, by the way. The other people are the shitty ones. And they're just getting in my mind what's coming to them. They're the ones with the bad. I have no backbone. I don't make
what's coming to
decisions
them
that are
times
good.
10.
I don't make the decisions that need to be made because I just want to keep my job because I'm a coward. I take offense to you two dating because I'm a lonely piece of shit and I'm going to throw this onto your plate and now you have to deal with my words. I'm going to blast my music and make everyone listen. These people are the inconsiderate, shitty people. They're
That's
the
true.
ones.
Yeah, they are the shitty ones. But like I said, I don't fantasize about murdering them.
Okay, maybe I have anger issues. I don't really think I have anger issues.
No, I don't think so either.
No, because I don't. Do I ever get angry? Maybe I get angry. Yes, I get angry, and when I get angry, I process that anger, and it doesn't really have anything to do with bashing people.
Yeah, you're very playful in a lot of these areas, in these other areas that aren't like actual feelings. Well, I mean, this is a feeling, but do you know what I mean? Like, you're very playful in this realm. You're like, yeah, I'll do this, and their blood will dry on me, and I will then show that dried blood to their family. Like, it's a playful.
There's a job. Look,
sort of.
There's a job to be done, and I'm up to the task. That's all it comes down to. It's
Someone has to teach that family that they fucked up.
Yeah.
By not reining in their child.
Their hellion.
Who told them, their adult child, who told a stranger that he was white. And he shouldn't be with a Puerto Rican woman.
Yeah, when I think about, sometimes when I'm on a plane and if someone gets up and starts causing trouble, maybe wants to hijack the plane, I'm always very smooth in it. I take off my shoelace quietly. I'm reading, let's say I'm reading a book, and this guy starts causing trouble, and then I say in my head, really, I'm enjoying this book, and now I have to do this? Okay, fine. And then I take the shoelace off of my shoe, and I sneak up behind him, I strangle him to death very calmly. He's dead. And then I just go back down, and I sit in my seat, and I continue to read my book. And people say
you're a hero.
And I'm wearing a 3-piece suit. And people say, wow, he just did what needed to be done. He just handled
There's a woman
business.
crying, and you take out your handkerchief and you give it to her.
No, yeah, that's too much. I see what you're saying.
That's too smooth.
I think it's too much at that point because then you're too aware of your surroundings. This was more like I'm in my own world. And
okay. You just want to get back to your book.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in this scenario, afterward, you're a hero. In the subway, where you're like, busting kneecaps and slicing Achilles tendons, you're a psychopath.
No, people love that. The whole subway in normal times, non-COVID times on a crowded subway car, people would love it. I would get awards. I'd probably get a key to the city.
No, because you're doing too much. If you intimidated them or whatever, and then you were this sort of Batman-esque figure on riding the subway, keeping shit in line, then that'd be different. But when you're, like I said, bashing people, maybe people would be like, "That's too much." Now you're the problem.
Who's the shitty one here? Look, there are.
I'm agreeing with you that they are the shitty one.
Yeah, the way you need to live your life is in a manner where you take into account other people. Other people exist, and you shouldn't do things that interfere with their peace and their ability to exist. If you knock them out of some kind of comfort zone, if you annoy them, this is all stuff that shouldn't be happening. So I'm actually the good one. I'm not a shitty person. Also, this is all in theory. I have, I guess, real stuff that is not tied to this violence that we could talk about at some point. But there you go. So I don't know. You're vindicated just because you laughed at a woman who put on weight. You're not so shitty.
Yeah, it's a very unique, weird feeling to be like, yes. I love seeing her.
It's petty
on the street. Yeah, it's really petty.
It probably goes back to you in middle school or some other time when the cool kids that I know you're going to say you never wanted to be a part of. I didn't want anything to do with those kids. At some point, you're a kid. You
I didn't
just
want to
wanna-
be with the cool kids, but I wanted to be in like the cool bad kids. And I kind of knew them in like a satellite way. And I had a book of pictures, like stupid pictures, in a little photo album, like a really small one. And I had a big hippie flower sticker on it. And one of the dudes, I think his name was Chris, he asked for it. He's like, oh, let me see it. And he took it, and it was during lunch. And he had it, and then when he got it back to me, he had scratched, like dug into the outside of the flower and said, fucking hippie. I was like, huh?
You
fuck?
didn't fantasize about that dude getting his?
No, it was more, I felt,
If you heard that he, let's say, lived alone and he tripped and fell and broke his leg and couldn't get to a phone, and he had some cats and the cats couldn't get their food and they started eating his face, would you, how does that story make you feel?
see, that's too much. For me, what I do enjoy now is imagining him still living in Gwinnett, which is, listen, I don't have any problems with Gwinnett. And I have
Anyone who
friends-
listens to the show lives in Gwinnett. Autumn called you a loser.
No, it's just I'm not the person who wants to stay in this county even that I grew up in, and I don't. This person I don't think is still is
Just finish your thought.
Is thriving.
Don't worry about offending people who live in Gwinnett. Just finish what you were going to say about what his current situation is.
I just suspect that he's not thriving and doing what he loves. You know what I mean? And again, this is the shitty part where it's like I feel like I'm probably doing better than him. I don't like being that person, but I am.
You actually are worse than I am. Just because my fantasies are violent. I know
You're in the more physical realm and I'm in the more mental realm.
What are you talking about? My whole thing's mental. You're in the physical realm.
No, you're because you're physically wanting to harm them.
No, this is all in my head.
In your fantasy. No, I know.
You're seeing real stuff in real life and you're laughing aloud. That's in the physical
world. Not
world.
Laughing aloud. I'm enjoying that I'm probably doing better.
And I know you didn't get into radio.
Like that.
I know you didn't get into radio for this reason, but what you described is like maybe this guy listens to you now. Maybe he hears you on the radio in Atlanta on the Von Hessler Doctrine, which is a well-rated show. And he thinks, I knew her. Maybe he tells people that he knew you. Maybe he talks about you as if you were friends, even though he was a shithead to you. And that to you, let me ask, does that make you feel cool if that was happening? If he listened, like, oh, I'm a loser. I haven't done anything. And now here's Autumn.
No, it's not about him feeling like a loser. It's about me enjoying a better station in life.
Yeah, see, this is why I hated radio, by the way, because it's filled with people like that. It's filled with people like that. It's filled with people who had something to prove to other people who made fun of them at some point in their lives.
But that's not, you're saying that's not me.
No, but
okay.
You're in a situation.
I'm not trying to prove anything.
I know you did. I know that you didn't get into radio for that reason. But if it so happened he heard you and he's a loser and he made you feel bad one day and now he knows what you're doing and he can compare.
See, it's not about him. It's not about his reaction to things. I'm not getting vengeance because of his reaction. I'm enjoying my own feelings about like, well, I don't still live in Loganville working at the local Joann's.
I gotcha. Cake kake. Tomato.
Cake kake.
I get you. I understand what you're saying, but ultimately, in radio, and I think a lot of entertainment, because radio was so accessible to real fucking losers, it was filled with people who had something to prove like that. I know you didn't have anything to prove, but in general, people went in and like, I'm in radio, you're hearing my voice now. And instead of using the medium as it should have been used to make great content and experiment only in sound and entertain people, it was all for these people to show everyone else something. And, that is shitty behavior. I really thank you for doing the show. I'm realizing that I really am not a piece of shit. Never mind, I had a girlfriend once who had shingles in the bottom of her feet and had painkillers and needed them, and I stole those painkillers. Or, I was dating also her and got on Tinder behind her back and just started matching with people because I was already checked out of the relationship. Or, that I had a relationship that I cheated on once and, went on for months and the person never found out. And who cares about those things? The real awful
The real
behavior.
shitty people are the people where you can hear their music playing outside of their earbud.
The time that I took clothes from my place of employment, stole those clothes, or other times that I
Broke the trust of someone.
I wrapped in purchases, like a new air conditioner with some equipment that was needed for the job, and I was entrusted. Are the times that my sisters made money babysitting, and I wanted to buy ice cream, and I would go in their room and steal their money.
Yeah.
The theme here, the thread here, though, is what makes you a shitty person is when you're doing things that affect other people negatively. All these things that I listed affected other people negatively. My fantasies aren't affecting anyone negatively.
True.
So, maybe me. But that's fine.
Oh, that's very true. It affects you negatively.
But that doesn't matter. Not for the sake of this conversation and what it means to be shitty. Mm-hmm. I think that is the line. That's the rule. Are you doing something that negatively affects another person? If the answer is yes, then you're a piece of shit.
I feel like, in reality, actually being a piece of shit is what you're saying. But what I think people don't talk about are the shitty things that they think that are embarrassing to them and go against who they feel like they really are, which it might go against who they really are. But when you talk about it
it doesn't go. I'm stopping you there. If you have these thoughts, it's not going against who you really are. That is who you really are. I'm not saying that I'm a murderer, but I'm a person who thinks about these things.
Yeah.
So to say that's going against who you are, no, it's not, because it's in my head.
No, I'm sorry. Well, then who you feel like you are.
Oh, you have an idea.
The you present to the world.
Yeah, the fake you that you put. I would never.
Not you, just the filtered you.
I would never have such negative feelings about anyone.
Not the filtered you. You're not going to give people your unfiltered you.
Me?
The people that do that? No, anybody. The people that do that are the ones who go on the subway and don't give a fuck about bothering anybody.
Those people want something too. They just want attention. I don't know what they're lacking in their lives. They're the same people like we were talking about in the pre-show who are...
I don't think they do. See, you're applying your brain to theirs. I really think that they're like, I don't care if I bother people. It's none of my business. I'm going to be doing what I want to do.
I think it's their way. They're the radio DJs of the world. I'm gonna get back at you. You society, you rejected me for so long. I'm gonna get back at you. I'm gonna get back at you. But going back, what you were saying before, yeah, I mean, am I presenting this side of myself to most of the people out there? No, though I am presenting it on this podcast at this point. So. I guess more people.
But the point of this podcast is that thinking shitty things is different than being a shitty thing.
Yeah. And I was going to make the point, I'm not going to go into work and probably openly talk about these things. Now it's out there, and if someone I work with hears it, then fine. But, we all filter ourselves and censor ourselves in certain ways in certain situations. But just because I don't bring that up in certain settings doesn't mean I'm pretending that it's not me. So a lot of people will pretend that they're not crappy people. And I don't know what they do. I know that's the extreme, or they have thoughts that they're uncomfortable with, or whatever the fuck it is. At that point, it's a complete disservice to themselves, and they're in denial. And I'm such a great person. Just own it. Own it.
But that's the thing. It's hard to think of yourself as someone who can oh, it's just like the world. The world is horrible and it's beautiful. People, individuals, yourself are and is shitty, but also amazing. You know, you can be both a petty bitch in your mind, but also be like a great friend and willing to help a stranger. You know what I mean? But when we sort of either suppress or are afraid to admit that, yeah, I think these things, or like we've talked about with racism or thinking about race, it's like everyone has a racist thought.
Well, prejudiced thought.
I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. You're right. A prejudiced thought.
In some way or another, yes, people of every background have prejudiced thoughts. And to say otherwise, you're lying to yourself.
Right. And so you can be someone who will have some sort of like prejudiced thought that isn't you. It's not something, I mean, it is you, I guess, but it's not something that you actually believe, but it's just like almost like pop-ups. You know, it just like pops into your brain. It doesn't mean that and now it doesn't mean you have to look at yourself in the mirror and be like, am I a racist? Am I prejudiced? A, you're probably not racist. Maybe you are. I don't know. Probably not. And B, yeah, you probably are prejudiced. It's what you do with it after that. So like what you said, Greg, it's like, yeah, you think about these violent things, but it doesn't mean it's what you do with it afterward. Do you actually go after people and be a shithead? No.
I did go look for that guy. I did go look for him that one night. But yes, I hear you. I'm not going out.
You were experimenting. With how far can I push myself into this thing?
I think, though, they're the same way a lot of people refuse to admit or can't admit that they have prejudiced thoughts, which is a shame, because if you ever want to eliminate those kind of things, you have to admit that they exist in the first place. People don't want to admit that they have unsavory thoughts about whatever. The funny thing is, I bet half these people who pretend that they're perfect and don't think negatively about anyone else are the ones driving the gossip in the neighborhoods. Like, let me tell you what's going on down the street. I hear they like to have sex on
like,
spaghetti.
Ooh, tell me everything. I want to know all the dirt.
Yeah, I hear Donna likes to put spaghetti on her bed and then bang on top of it.
Oh, shit. What a freak.
But then at that point, I don't know. Then they'll.
But okay, but then it's
deny,
what you do
deny until they
No, it's
die.
what you do with it. Let's say
they don't.
The neighbor comes to me and tells me about Barbara and her spaghetti bed. I am all ears. I want to hear all the gossip. I want to hear all the shitty things whatever. I want to talk shit about people. I want to do it all. But what do I do with that afterwards? Do I then not let Barbara come hang out on a night?
I don't know. I'm not on the stage with you on this one. I think partaking.
I'd be fine. I'd be like, come on, spaghetti bed, Barb. Let's go.
Nope. I'm not on the same page.
Barb sounds like she likes to party.
The fact that you want to partake in the gossip, and you will partake in the gossip. If that's who you are, great, do it. But it's not saying, I can have this and then just be nice to that person. That's two-faced. I'm not into that. I'm not into I'm going to talk shit about you, and then we're going to hang out and have some lemonade on my fucking porch. That's not, no.
I get what you're saying.
And
I get what you're saying.
To draw the distinction, how despite my violent thoughts, I don't really like to gossip about people. I will. I'm not above it. But for the most part, if there's a group of gossips who they're known for doing that, I don't want to partake in it at all. Because why? What am I getting out of it? And if I am getting something out of it, then I need to look at what I'm getting out of it. Why am I jumping in and, being cliquey with these people at the expense of someone else? And there's something there that I need to figure out on my own.
Well, I agree with everything you said, which is a problem.
I know you like to gossip, and that's okay.
But
I just want you to be clear.
I don't think I'm two-faced, am I?
Well, it depends on what the gossip is, and then what you do with the person that you were shitting on after the fact. Come on over, have some pink lemonade.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, maybe I went too far in saying I like to shit on people. I'm not trying to shit on people.
I just.
But if it's somebody that you and I both mutually don't like, then it's like, yeah, let's go in.
Yeah, and the shitty behavior.
I wouldn't put rat poison in their coffee or anything.
No, but
That's what you would want to do.
But just going after someone, gossiping about someone, or just dumping all over them for the sake of it, I'm not saying it can't be fun.
Yeah.
I surely can enjoy it, but it's not respectable behavior.
No, it's not. Oh, man.
Not something I'm
No, I
necessarily
don't like
proud
myself. What did we do? We went too far.
of. Did we?
With this
I
topic.
don't.
Now I feel like I'm a shithead now for real.
You are. We all are. Let's just
Oh, yeah,
let's
that's
just
right.
establish that everyone is. And then, as you said, it's kind of working within that, what you do. The least you hurt other people, I think, is how you can gauge where on the shithead scale you fall.
And when I was talking about like really gossiping, it wasn't with people that I don't know super well. I was thinking about like my two closest friends and how you can be more your unfiltered self, and there's a solid foundation of not being shitty, so you can you can act shitty with each other and know its context. Because I wouldn't just talk to somebody I barely know and be like, "Did you see Rebecca? Rebecca looks like shit." I would never do something like that. And if someone did that to me, I'd be like, "I think it's fine."
You ever think about what other people say about you? Because people are
Yeah.
talking crap about you also, and me. I just don't know what they would say.
Yeah, I don't know.
Other than
Look
things
at
I
that
would probably
cool
admit.
weirdo.
Oh, you the cool weirdo?
I'm not. I want to be so bad.
Yeah, he's so fucking annoying and neurotic, and he doesn't drop things, and he has all these rules, and he imposes them. But again, my rules, I don't feel... My rules are really rules to keep people from imposing on other people. Those are the rules that I have in place.
Well, you impose what your impositions are onto other people, because maybe somebody doesn't care that this is happening.
Wonder what else they say, though.
I don't know.
Everyone's had shit talked about them behind their backs.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? There's this thing where you can send it to your friends, and then they can anonymously respond with all these different things about you. So you've sent it to like a handful of people but you don't know exactly what each of them has said, but they answer these questions really honestly about you. And they'll say like, really full of themselves, like always interrupting, you never feel like you can, say things, jumps on you, whatever. And I really thought about doing that. What do people really think of me? And then I started to sort of try and answer it from their point of view. And then I got like freaked out and I didn't want to know.
I'm trying to think of what I would say about you.
Okay.
But I can't. My mind's going blank. I'm sorry. I know for the sake of the show and entertainment value that I'm dropping the ball here. But I mean,
okay. Should I try and think about what someone says about you, or what I would say about you?
or someone, if you've heard things, you can throw them out there.
It's hard because I enjoy you so much.
Yeah, what have you heard? You've heard other people say things.
Oh, no. I'm trying to think from my own point of view.
All right, well, then just list something else that you've heard.
Let me think.
On the radio show, you're hanging out with those dudes all the time. I know they talk shit about everyone.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember something specific that, Eric has said. Eric has talked about how he compares it to his like your relationships to his relationship with his wife, where he always says, Jane and I are in an argument and I say, is this enough to divorce over? Nope. All right, then let's forget it. And so he feels like if being in a relationship with you would be like constantly making sure everything's okay, and he wouldn't be able to handle it.
Okay. That's a weird thing to bring up when you're talking trash about a person. Couldn't imagine being in a relationship with that guy. Okay, sure. It's not so wrong probably anyway, but I don't even understand what he's saying.
That he wouldn't be able to speak about how everyone's feeling about everything all the time.
Yeah.
Because he feels like that's what you do.
Okay.
This is affecting you, I feel like.
It's not affecting me. It's a
Right,
very
you got kind
strange.
of quiet.
It's a strange thing. I don't even know how to address that. I thought it would be something, simpler.
Oh. Well, you're a complicated person.
Yeah, I guess so. You can't talk shit
So
about
it can't
me.
be like, he talks too much. Like, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, he talks too much. He doesn't listen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
see, those are for simple people.
Yeah, simpletons.
Yeah. What about me? Tell me something.
I don't have anything.
Well, I guess you called me
Yeah,
a
you're-
genius
you're-
in the beginning of the episode, so maybe
you're-
that's what's happening.
Lost in your own world. Anything that's outside of your circle of existence, you don't give a shit about.
My very first instinct is to say that's not true, but maybe it's probably a little true.
Yeah,
That's a protection. It's like I can't. What can I do to change something? Nothing. All right. Well.
Yeah, but to have a lack of care. I don't think you're like that anymore. That
Yeah.
was certainly a thing, though. Like, well, I don't see it happening in my world. I'm not saying that you didn't say things weren't
Oh
real.
no, you're right.
But you're like, who
I
cares?
definitely had different views about how people got into positions that they're in their lives, and I thought, like, well, you should have had the hindsight to know that could be happening to you. So now you're at this job where you don't make enough money, and you have too many kids, and you can't go back to school, and you can't. It's like, well, you should have thought of that. And I was pretty.
Yeah, says the person who just acted on every impulse she ever had.
Yeah.
When it came to those things.
Fortune favors the bold.
Why'd you do that? I don't know. I wanted to.
Yeah, I did. I feel like that's okay.
That is
Partly.
that is okay, but to pass that judgment on other people,
I know.
That's another thing. Hypocrisy. If you're
yeah.
going after other people for things that you do, like, yeah, you're a real piece of shit.
Do I do that? You're saying?
Well, I mean, what you were just telling me sounds like maybe you did. You're like, oh, well, this person put themselves in that situation, and you should have thought about those things before, and then. You're a person who didn't really think about those things. You just acted on impulse on those things.
Well, so for example, this is a real world example, whereas before I was thinking of like when everyone was talking about minimum wage jobs and people working minimum wage jobs that really are meant for like kids, but this is the only job they can get because of circumstances, blah, blah, blah. But one circumstance was I was talking with my aunt, and I was talking about my grandmother who had 7 kids. I can't remember, 7 or 8. And there were a lot of issues going on in the house where my granddad, who I've never met, was an alcoholic, and she was adopted and had a lot of trauma, but still had all these kids. And then, my aunts and uncles, have, things that they deal with. And I said something to my aunt saying, like, it's really irresponsible of my grandmother to have so many kids. And she was like, she didn't have a choice. I was like, yes, she did. She had a choice. She's like, no, you don't have it. You didn't have a choice back then. They were Catholic, you're married, you gotta, and you have the kids. And the woman doesn't really have a lot of back then. There wasn't an atmosphere of choice back then. And so that was another moment. I was like, oh yeah, Like the way that I experience the world is very different from others. And so putting my expectations on it is faulty.
You realize that you weren't the only person in existence. I'm not saying that you thought that, but your thoughts were kind of insular on that front.
Mhm.
That's all it takes. Again, everyone's on the shittiness scale. We're all pieces of shit. It's like, where do you fall on the scale? And I think a lot of it, again, just to reiterate, and I'll close it out with my thought on that, is how much you negatively affect other people.
Yeah.
And if you're doing that quite a bit, you're higher on the scale. If you're not doing it that much, I mean, we all do it to an extent. You can't avoid it fully. We are selfish, self-centered creatures by nature. Just by existence. I mean, the only head you have is your head. You can't get into someone else's head fully. You can try to think about what it's like to be another person, but you can't fully escape. So by that nature in itself, you can't always be perfect. But just admit, if you admit you're not, then you're dumb. You're an ignoramus, according to that Cracker Barrel peg game. You're the same. You're the one who leaves like 3 or more pegs on the board, or 4 or more, or whatever it is.
Was it spelled ignoramus?
Ignoramus.
Why does everybody love Cracker Barrel?
Chicken dumplings with a side of dumplings.
Side of dump.
And the
Extra dump.
what's that fucking casserole everyone loves?
From
Hash
Cracker
brown
Barrel?
hash brown casserole or something. I don't know what it is. Yeah, from Cracker Barrel.
I don't know. I never gave a shit about Cracker Barrel.
Cracker Barrel. That's where I buy all my shoes, from the old general store. Yeah, okay, there it is. The you gave me the signal that we're wrapping up the show. The old crude finger in the hole symbol.
Did you want me to do a more traditional, like,
No,
swirl the finger in the air, wrap it up?
Nope.
All right, thanks everybody for listening. Thank you for accepting us, even though we're shitty. And I hope that you found a part of yourselves that is also shitty. Like and subscribe, rate and review. Support our sponsor, hoffandpepper.com. You can get 15% off Hoff and Pepper hot sauce from Chattanooga. Use the code OneTopic15, and we'd appreciate it. And next week, dicks, right? It's your topic, so you're ready to talk about dicks?
No.
Oh, you want to talk about shoes?
Maybe.
That guy will be happy. All right, thank you. Bye. Hey, Greg.
Hey, Autumn.
Do you like hot sauce?
You know, I do like hot sauce, but I'm getting pretty bored of my regular Texas Pete or Tabasco. I'm looking for a local sauce without any additives or extracts. A company that uses local peppers so it's as fresh as possible, and a company that really cares about the integrity of the sauce and where their ingredients come from.
Definitely.
And hey, while we're at it, I don't want a sauce with too many ingredients. You know, a lot of other sauces out there, they have all kinds of fillers. So I'd love to find a sauce with, I don't know, what? Let's say no more than 5 ingredients. I mean, it's crazy, but there's gotta be a company out there that hand processes their sauce. You know, bottling and labeling every bottle themselves. I'm probably asking a lot.
Well, you really are, but there is a hot sauce out there who only uses 5 ingredients.
What?
0 fillers,
Huh?
additives, or extracts, and who bottles, labels, and packages everything themselves. It's called Hoff Sauce.
What?
They're a small batch hot sauce company out of Chattanooga, Tennessee that's won Best Louisiana-style sauce in the country. How many times? Not once, not twice, 3 times.
3 times!
How does that sound, Greg?
I think that sounds amazing.
You know how you can get your own bottle of hot sauce?
No, tell me please now.
Hoffandpepper.com. And not only am I giving you the gift of the best hot sauce that you'll ever taste, I'm going to give you 15% off if you use the code OneTopic15.
Hold on, that's
Yes, get a pen and paper.
One Topic 15.
Good. That's ONETOPIC15, all squished together at checkout. You'll get 15% off your order and your life will be better.
Thank you.
You're welcome.